All right. Welcome back to the show. Let's see here. Whoa. Wow. What the heck? Dude, what is happening? The sun. Losing time. And I was burned. Deep within my soul, my spirit exploded. All right, so as you can see, we've tapped into that quarterly fair value gap. Been looking at. Don't know if ES will. Seems like it may just want to respect the CE of this wick, maybe. Let's see what that looks like. The pieces at least while I can. Mm, Wait, where's the line, dude? Where's the line? Is it there? All right, but yeah, that's basically what's happening here. Looks like we're kind of in the CE of some areas. But yeah, Dow Jones definitely very much could bounce here. Even if it's only up into the range, not to an all-time high. But there is equal highs up here though. Look at that. So that's obvious. My spirit exploded. Oh yeah, it did show up there. There you go. My spirit exploded. All right, yeah, makes sense. Taking out a bunch of liquidity here on the monthly. Relative strength here in these guys, whereas Russell just pouting itself along. Yeah, not much here on the monthly. All right, now we're at the weekly charts here. Let me take some notes here. So yeah, YM tapping the Q fair value gap. So looking for a hard time frame reaction here, and seems like time lines up too with CPI this week, and not much news next week. So yeah, if we're gonna get a move on the weekly time frame, it seems like this would be the week. And yeah, so if that's gonna happen, if we're expecting a bullish candle, then I would expect that candle to basically just rebalance the whole last week's candle, which is pretty crazy. But that's what would make sense to me if we're gonna get like a big, if we're gonna deliver back up. It may even take out the actual high of last week. It could be a pretty big candle. Um, like I wouldn't expect CPI week to just have a little candle body with a little wick and a little wick, you know. I would expect it to, if we're gonna bounce, yeah, I don't know. I think that that's what would happen. Um, yeah, so we've got the low sweep on everything. We definitely have some bearish weekly fair value gaps that still haven't been met. All right. Nothing here on the weekly besides up here. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay. But on the downside, let's see here. So yeah, we're tapping into this order block that rebalanced this prior order block. I guess that's like a propulsion block. Yeah. So we shouldn't go below the CE of that, you know. Interesting. Interesting. Makes a lot of sense. Things are all kind of making sense here. But yeah, we have, let's get rid of that. I can get rid of some of these areas. All right. This says we've got some weekly fair value gaps here. I don't see nothing. Oh, that's the quarterly. Weekly fair value gap. Technically, there is one there, but I have it as like an old one. So this needs to go like right there. So yeah, we got a weekly nested PD array within the quarterly and relative equal lows there. So maybe we get the bounce and then we create SMT with ES. That would make sense too. Doesn't need to, but we could see that happening. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, if it's going to come that deep, I don't see the Dow Jones just like diverging that much. It could, but because I would expect the Dow to just probably bounce within this fair value gap, especially since we have SMT, and yeah, we have SMT here, so I don't think it would come down into there. I think we're already ready to bounce, basically. Is that okay? There's a weekly opening, new week opening gap there. Interesting. Look at this inversion here. We're tapping into that. Did we? Not yet. But yeah, just kind of cool. Because we did inverse it here. But yeah, there's no like PD arrays here. There is this inversion here too. Interesting. Maybe that's our area of interest. Nested order block. Relative equal lows, relative equal lows, relative. So yeah, everything has relative equal lows basically. I already knew all this. Let's go to the, well, we're gonna switch back down to the daily now. So, all right, now the more interesting time frame here. So yeah, we got definitely a bounce area here. We've taken out lows. We've got SMTs from the, oh, interesting. So we've got SMT here still with NASDAQ. Why is this not grabbing that? What the heck? There we go. So yeah, NASDAQ hasn't even taken out this low, which ES has, and everybody else has. So there's some relative strength here showing up in NASDAQ. That's very interesting, and yeah, we definitely have the low sweep. We got relative strength in NASDAQ versus ES on a intermediate and a higher time frame range. Doesn't mean that it's gonna hold. We could easily get one more move down. Maybe ES takes out this low, but then NASDAQ holds this low. So yeah, not too sure here. But we are missing something. New window. Yeah, let's check out the flow here. I don't know why it always loads the wrong one. There we go. Alright, so SPY, let's check it the last 3 days and tide. So we had lots of put selling here. Calls were on top. They weren't necessarily like super bullish, but they're definitely selling calls here. Prices going down, so they're definitely buying calls, selling puts, buying calls. Um, but then the calls came down here and they were selling calls. So I don't actually like that. That's actually kind of bearish. Puts were grinding up. And then tide was, you know, puts coming down, calls coming down. They're more put selling here. And then calls coming down. This kind of looks like this day right here. And they have puts on top with calls on bottom and most of the volume in the puts. So this is actually kind of bearish. So that's interesting. I may be wrong about just a classic buy week. It may be like a reversal week profile. But let's check out the Qs. QQQ. And then let's get another one open. So yeah, we've got Qs here. Nothing on the dates. Seems interesting. Last 3 days. Unsignificant day there, but puts being sold, calls being bought. Then we have that ramp up in put premiums into the low. Put premiums still rocketing, though the volumes don't match that. Volumes climbed up and then kept climbing here and then sold off with a nice pump here. So this is still kind of bearish leaning. I think it's all kind of pointing to at least the Monday being like a take out the low then go, which I just coined that term. Nice. So this is this is providing a bit of clarity here. Oh, whoops. Let's see if there's anything on the, wow. Big end of February flows. Just gonna note that. Let me create this real quick. Just gonna note that in my calendar. That's the 21st of February. Cool. All right. IWM, wow, very bullish. So put selling here. They're buying the dip. Call buying, put buying, but mostly call buying. So bullish profile. We have a sweep here. Very bullish profile. Puts being completely dumped here, and calls being bought. But if we look at the volumes, we had a switch into puts here, so they definitely sold puts there. Then we had a grind back into calls here, which means they definitely, weird. Well, they definitely sold puts again, at least, and then bought calls. And then down into here, they sold some calls, and then this is just confusing. So, but either way, this is very bullish looking to me. I think that is interesting. What's happening on Russell? Russell swept these lows. We have no SMT here on the higher time frame. So maybe we're going to create something here. So IWM flow is very bullish, but none of the other indices look. So, but if we look at the Dow Jones, maybe we'll have another one that's bullish. Dow. Oh, I wish I could go to net flow. Not much here. Put buying, call selling, very bearish, and then absolute demolished in puts, though calls were still negative. So finish out the move, puts grind up into the move, calls are going down. They continue to go down, but puts are being sold here. So we did have a grind up in puts, but then we slowly trickled down and it looks like they're taking profits here, but it's not ready yet to flip bullish. So yeah, that makes sense to me. I think it it is a little preemptive on the flows at least to look for like longs. It seems like we would get at least another leg down, at least to take out last week's low at least. Especially since we bounced into the close. It seems like, we just come up and then take everything out again. But I mean, on the chart we are looking very technically bullish, at least for a reversal on the higher time frame. So yeah, I still think we could reverse. ES could still come down and take out this low on the Dow Jones chart. We could come and take this low out. This is a little support resistance low. So, which would make sense because that lines up with whatever that level is. Maybe a weekly, maybe a quarterly. Yeah. So there's a different quarterly gap there. But yeah, maybe one more little low there. At least below probably this. So definitely go a little bit lower. Um, so yeah, I think that's kind of what's happening. I think we're gonna go a bit lower, and or at least on the flows. So we did have call a put selling though on the Dow. So I mean, I'm just expecting another low, but then like could easily get a quick reaction very quickly out of there. Um, yeah, this low would be nice. Makes sense to take that out. IWM has not taken out these lows, so maybe that's what's going to happen here. Maybe it needs to take out this low, come back and rebalance some of this, maybe tap this order block. Oh man. Yeah. IWM could definitely head lower. Um, but as for like a key level here, not much. Just maybe there's something on the 20 daily. Yeah, there's just daily fair value gaps here within like a balanced price range type thing. So, maybe what could happen is we get initial bounce because the flows are, that makes sense. Yeah, maybe we're going to get a bounce here since the flows have been bullish for Russell. And then we create SMT with the other indices, and then we come lower, creating that characteristic sort of move that Russell always does. But yeah, I mean, I think we probably would take that out though if all the other indices are a little bit bearish still. SPY, kind of the same thing. Yeah, it's manufactured like a relative equal low here. Could easily draw up and then take that out and then maybe get like a reversal profile later this week to come back up into here. Um, doesn't have that area of interest until all the way down there. Yeah, seems like just a little bit lower. Excuse me. But we do have QQQ and SPY SMT there. And we already kind of souped this low, so, but then we souped these lows. Interesting. What's Dow Jones look like again? Okay. So SPY's holding up versus Q's. And IWM, that's so weird. SPY is the only one that hasn't taken out that low. And it doesn't really have equal lows to take out besides the range, what it's doing right now. But even then. And then SPX is taking it out. What the heck? Weird. What the heck is going on here? Well, yeah, now that does look like a relatively equal low. So yeah, it just seems like a little bit down and then up. If it's gonna go up, it's gonna go at least a little bit down. So yeah, even if it comes and takes out this low, we'll definitely still have SMT if Dow Jones takes this low out on the stock indices, but otherwise we already have everything on the higher time frame for a reversal. It's just a matter of when. And Monday there's no news, so it makes sense that we would just kind of continue, and then Tuesday, Wednesday we've got news. We create some sort of reversal. Maybe even Tuesday's the reversal, and then Wednesday's like the retrace and pump. So it's kind of what I'm thinking. It looks bullish technically. There's nothing in the flows yet to really confirm that. The only thing that does is the Russell. The Russell flows are really bullish looking, though the volume wasn't like anything to write home about. The premiums were absolutely insane. Just complete put selling, divergent puts, complete buy calling. Like that is looking good for the Russell. So I think I'm gonna really focus in on the Russell here and try to figure out like what could happen. Now that I kind of have like a picture on a higher time frame, like what the areas that we're in. You know, we do have SMTs everywhere, but we do need like a smaller time frame. Um, like this one here makes sense on NASDAQ, but the flows on NASDAQ were not bullish at all yet. Man, this song absolutely sucks that I'm listening to. All right. So yeah, technically higher time frame is bullish. Just need the intermediate term to flip bullish too. So, all right, as for that, we've gone to the daily. We have, you know, a nice big move down. No candles yet to tell us if it's a displacement yet. Obviously on the 4 hour we do. So yeah. Kind of tricky though. This is a fair value gobble set up here on Russell. Is there anything on the daily? Let's look at Russell alone. So yeah, it's respecting this little fair value gap. The problem is there's no fair value gap above the the level there. So I would expect it to probably come down to this one. Man, I hate that. Yeah, so there's the fair value gobble setup. Technically isn't until down here. So that's nice. And then you go zoom in. There is an order block right beneath it. So that's what I like to see. We got some bullish flow on Russell. We've got a classic setup here. So very, very, very interesting. Let's see if my Weeble funds will settle soon. Buy some calls. My margin account. Come on. When will it settle? How do we check that? Incoming funds. Okay. Incoming funds. It'll settle by the 15th. Oh man. Dang, that sucks. But might be right on time. We'll see. Maybe there's a futures thing I can trade at the margin account. But yeah, seems like that's gonna be nice and juicy there. And I would expect it to just rip, probably definitely back up into this. So yeah, there is a technical setup here. Um, and flows are very bullish, unlike the other charts. But yeah, I think even on the smaller time frame, if there's an SMT here, a relative strength versus the Dow, which I don't think there is, not yet. Where were we here? So we came down, and then this was the weakness in Russell, and then so yeah, maybe just on the smaller time frame might be good enough. So yeah, I mean there already is one, and we did hit that first order block, but we haven't actually hit the fair value though area. Let's see, maybe I'm missing it. There's a BPR daily. There's just nothing there. Maybe if we go to like a 2-day, we can justify it. Nope. Seems like it. Yeah, seems like it at least wanted to take out that. And those, I'm pretty sure those, yeah, those are for later dates. But anyways, so yeah, I think this week sometime definitely could come down into here and probably tap this order block inside of there, because there's one right here. Take out that. Yeah, I would trust that. Interesting, dude. color's too strong for me. Whoops. Alright, so I really like that area. This is like textbook for me. Um, Maybe even the Dow is going to take this out. Maybe the Dow's really that weak. What would that look like? Yeah, I would have to really go deep, which it could, could do that. But interesting, interesting. And that would make sense, Russell comes down, and then Dow comes down even lower, and then wow, Russell kind of gets a bounce, it retraces and creates a higher low. That would be just textbook long there. Look for SMT with YM for strong long opportunity. So that's like a weekly idea. Um, yeah, honestly, for now, I just think it's still short. Right now, we could obviously be bouncing because we do have SMT, um, but it's almost like we'd want to come and take something out and then create another short. So for now, it's just like, yeah, look for, I don't know, like the flows are, here's the plan. There's no bullish flows yet. So when bullish flows, look long. But for now, still looking for slightly deeper, and this makes sense going into Monday and Tuesday. Once news is here, then we also have more flows to base off of and look for possible longs. Yeah, so I think I'm still technically looking for shorts on these guys. Well, Russell, I would really look for a long. I would not be looking for a short because of the flow being bullish. So only look long here. Can only look short yet for now, but still looking for the long. Um, and yeah, just gonna keep these obviously areas of interest are these highs. There's no like relatively equal lows or anything yet. So pretty simple plan. It all makes sense to me. Uh, Dollar broke out, made a new high. Euro broke down and made a new low, and it seems like it want to go lower. And the pound has just been dumping. And then VIX has swept out these highs, but it seems like it may want slightly higher. And I was only really worried about VIX due to my XRP trade, and XRP has already started to move, and so have the other coins. Though it would make sense for Bitcoin to still come and sweep these lows. XRP gets the break, comes back and retraces, and then we have SMT and we get going. So keeping that in mind, the XRP SMT idea. So we'll be watching Bitcoin carefully, um, unless XRP just keeps going while this keeps going up and comes into here or takes out these highs here. So Bitcoin, it's looking like a short, honestly, if we get above there. And we do have this fair value gap on the 4 hour. So it could just come and trade into this stuff, which is basically just one big fair value gap. Oh, this is a 4 hour. Oops. All right. This is too thick, opaque. There. So yeah, I mean, it would make sense to SMT these lows, especially Ethereum too. Ethereum has this range down here that never got tested. So I'm going to be wary watching XRP as this comes into these areas. And hopefully we're just ripping like crazy. Um, but yeah, seems like right now it wants to go up. So doesn't doesn't mean it will, because I don't really. We can look at Bitcoin real quick. We've already rebalanced that. We took out this low and we're bouncing. Daily is coming back up after rejecting that. Yeah, kind of, it's just not clear. Seems like it may want to take out all this low resistance liquidity, just like I was looking at. So, yep, I think probably go up for now. Could obviously come down though if the VIX and all that spikes. So I'll be looking if that happens. Yeah, I'll be really keeping an eye on XRP. I have alerts, so there may be an opportunity to like reaccumulate a bit or something. I'm just worried that we have not like this is just very clean liquidity down here. So just being wary that this could come down and sweep these lows and then still back test this area. So I'm just being very cautious. I do like that it's displacing through this though. So maybe worst case scenario, I just place my stops up here. And then if I get liquidated, I only lose a little bit and can rebuy into this. But yeah, I feel like I'll still have a little bit of time to do that, especially if we'll see what happens, because I don't think Bitcoin's just going to reject right now. I think it could still easily head up into here. And if it's going to do that, that might give XRP that more explosive move. And instead of raising my stop, yeah, probably raise my stop still, but then maybe just take a little bit of partials here in case it does come down, and then I could just reaccumulate, maybe below this low or below these lows for like one buy and then two buys, and just have a really low leverage trade again. But anyways, yeah. Last thing I do want to look at is still gold and silver. Obviously, they still look bullish, but I'm waiting for the short. We're in an area of interest for a short, and it's exact same as like the indices. I just think that all I need to see is silver come up and manipulate the highs while gold is weak, and then boom, I got my short. So that's the only thing I'm looking for. I'm not really looking long. Um, I guess I could get, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is kind of a long setup already, but yeah, if anything, it's longs. So yeah, I'm not looking long. What am I trying to say? I don't know. We had gold make a lower low here. So this low is kind of confirmed. Maybe we manipulate one more time and then go. In that case, I'd long gold. So yeah, longs still are in play here. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, but yeah, that's all I'm really looking for. Pretty clear plan to me. And Monday we'll see what happens overnight into Monday, and hopefully we get some sort of short or a long. And then gold and silver actually look pretty easy, so I may even look in these guys for just a 2022 model retrace longs just for the highs. So yeah,